Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and dramatic stories from the Quran, the story of the prophet Yusuf, or Joseph. It's a gripping tale about how a private temptation can just explode into a public scandal, a serious test of integrity under crushing pressure, and ultimately a profound lesson in faith. So, let's get right into it. I mean, just listen to that. That's the incredible statement at the very heart of our story today. It's a choice that sounds almost impossible, right? Choosing a prison cell over freedom. To really get our heads around how Yusuf came to this exact moment, we have to go back and see how this whole thing spiraled out of control. So our story really picks up, not in some grand palace room, but in the whispers and gossip of the city's elite. This is where the wife of Al-Aziz, who's the chief minister, finds out her private life is the talk of the town, and she decides to face these rumors head-on, but let's just say not in the way you might expect. And let me tell you, the gossip is brutal. It's direct. The other women in the city are judging her, calling her obsession a clear error. The social pressure is just immense. So the chief's wife feels cornered, she's being publicly shamed, and her response? Well, it's a masterclass in turning defense into offense. Her plan is just so meticulously staged. This is not just a dinner party, it's pure theater. She sets up this whole atmosphere of fancy hospitality, and then she gives each of her accusers a sharp knife, supposedly for cutting fruit, and then she brings out her evidence, Yusuf himself. The result is just absolute shock. They are so completely stunned by his presence that they accidentally cut their own hands. It's this powerful image from the Quran that shows you just how overwhelmed they were. She's not just showing them what she wants, she's making them feel the intensity of it. And it works. Her spectacle is a total success. The very women who were judging her just moments before are now completely captivated. They're even making excuses for her, basically saying Yusuf must be some kind of angel. So the wife of Al-Aziz has just won over the entire jury. And with her audience in the palm of her hand, she makes her next move. And right here, this is the turning point of the whole story. With everyone there as a witness to Yusuf's incredible presence, the wife of Al-Aziz completely seizes the moment. She doesn't deny the rumors at all. No, instead, she weaponizes them. So her strategy is like a 1-2 punch. First, the justification. She just admits everything. Yep, that's him. I tried to seduce him. This totally disarms her critics. But then comes the threat. She completely flips the script. She frames his refusal not as a sign of his virtue, but as an act of disobedience. And she issues this public ultimatum. Either you do what I want, or I will have you thrown in prison and utterly humiliated. So this brings us right back to that monumental choice. He's facing public humiliation and prison on one side, and on the other, compromising everything he believes in. And what does Yusuf do? He turns to his Lord. And his response, you see, isn't just a choice, it's a prayer. You know, what's so incredibly profound here is the humility in this prayer. He isn't saying, oh, I'm strong enough, I can resist. Not at all. Instead, he's acknowledging his own human weakness. He's asking God to protect him from the temptation itself, because he knows that without divine help, anyone can fall. It's a prayer that comes from this deep self-awareness, showing that real strength is knowing your own limits. And so, even though his innocence was crystal clear, they had all seen the signs. The social pressure was just too much. To save face and quiet down the scandal, the authorities decide to imprison him anyway. It is a massive injustice, but for Yusuf, it's also the next step in his journey. And prison, paradoxically, is where his true purpose is about to shine. But here's the thing, that prison cell isn't the end for Yusuf. It's not even close. It's actually a new beginning. It's in this dark, confined place that his God-given gift for interpreting dreams really comes to the forefront. Not just as a cool skill, but as the main vehicle for his prophetic mission. So when two of his fellow prisoners come to him with their dreams, Yusuf sees a much bigger opportunity. Before he even begins to interpret, he lays down a foundation. He makes it clear that this knowledge isn't his own, it's from God. He connects himself to this amazing lineage of prophets before him, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then he gets to the core of his message, a call to worship the one true God. Even in chains, his mission comes first. Okay, so after laying this groundwork of faith, he gives them the interpretations, and they're delivered with this absolute prophetic clarity. For the cupbearer, it's good news. You're going to be freed and you'll get your job back. But for the baker, a really grim fate, execution. And he delivers both with this certainty, saying the matter has already been decided by God. And just as he predicted, the prophecy comes true. The cupbearer is about to be released, and after so much injustice, Yusuf sees this little glimmer of hope for his own freedom. And it's such a relatable human moment where his divine gift meets this really simple, practical plea for help. Yusuf asks the man he knows is about to be freed a simple favor. He says, "Hey, when you get out, please mention me to the king. Remind him about me and the injustice that's been done." It's just a logical, hopeful request from an innocent man who has been so wronged. But then, a tragic human moment. The freed cupbearer, he gets caught up in his new life, and he just forgets. The Quran says that it was Satan who made him forget. Just that little whisper of distraction, that one moment of forgetfulness, and it has these massive consequences. Yusuf's hope for a quick release just vanishes. And so he waits, not for days, not for months, but for several more years. Can you even imagine the weight of that time? The one promise of freedom, completely forgotten? The total silence from the outside world? This period of waiting, of being unjustly locked away and apparently forgotten, it might be the greatest trial of all. It's a test of patience, of faith, of just holding on to hope when you're in the darkest of places. And all of that leaves us with this final, really powerful question. Yusuf did everything right. He chose integrity, he kept his faith, he even helped other people in prison. And his reward? He was forgotten. This part of his story really forces you to think about the nature of God's timing versus our own. And it makes you ask, how can a huge setback, even one that lasts for years, somehow be part of a divine plan that we just can't see yet?